This is eCoffee with Experts, where marketers and founders share what's actually working in SEO, AI, and digital growth. Grab your coffee and fuel your mind as we chat with top minds about their wins, struggles, and lessons you won't find in a blog post. Brought to you by Digital Web Solutions, we bring real talk to help you grow your business, one episode at a time. Let's get started.
Yvonne, what I loved researching as I was preparing for this episode was the agency growth report that Sitechecker ran that was published last month in the beginning of March, where you took data from 73 SEO agencies, and I wanted to spend some time there before we dive in. One of the trends that I noticed was two things, where the report asked, like, what's the most difficult part about running an agency right now? And number one was new client acquisition. The second point was, AI is reducing the perceived value of SEO. How do we address the value of SEO 2026?
Yeah. Like right now, everybody said that we have to measure the revenue and pipeline from the ACO. Yeah, but I guess it was like even before. Businesses look only on this, but the agencies had some like proxy metric, like clicks or impressions in Search Console, and when it was growing, it was very easy to to show this and say, look at this, we are doing good job. But every time you see just on the Search Console chart without understanding which pages, which keywords generate all of this growth, usually you don't know whether it's valuable at all. And now when almost every website has the decline in Search Console because AI overviews and AI chart, they eat top of funnel content. Businesses, brand, they spend more time thinking about what we have to do. And number one thing, what agencies should do is spend more time on like communication and education customers, what they plan to do, why they plan to do that, how they plan to measure that. Because when customers ask more questions, they want some more context. Yeah. If we see the decline, so you said that we will have the same pipeline. How do you plan to adapt to that, and so on? And I see that agencies who has a better communication, they often may even produce an average result. They win customers and they retain them because of that.
And that leads directly into Sitechecker, which is the company that you run, and this is where a lot of the data is being pulled from. So I saw your LinkedIn post, and you also had a Reddit post about this just recently, maybe like a day ago, saying that if you're really good at Claude Code, you could create a smaller version of Sitechecker. And I love that you call that out, because I think a lot of agencies are thinking about, what's my moat as an agency? Like, now with tech available, people can just recreate everything I'm doing. And I want to have you expand on that a little bit. Like, what's the value of Sitechecker, and how does it differentiate from other tools like GA4 and Looker Studio and other analytics reporting?
Yeah. So, like our main value is that when you communicate with customers, you still need you can build something in code, but at first you usually underestimate how many efforts you will spend on maintaining this, because you'll still have some updates of GA4 or Search Console. Also, you need run tracking data and also site monitoring data, which we have a crawl website every week, every day. We track content changes, and we try to build like reports based on the intersection of the data. Something has gone down, and we trying to understand what the reason for this. But again, when you talk with customers, you want to show them some good report that's easy to share and easy to understand what's going on, which changes you did. Yeah, you can like log some as notes. Yeah, changes you did, and it helps. It's like one truth of source. Yeah, based on the most accurate data you can have. When you talk with the Claude, yeah, you can get a lot of insights, but you can get alerts and reports as we can get in Sitechecker. And yeah, you can start building your own app, but again, it will take so much time that it may be better just pay $200 per month, and so.
Yeah, I agree. And one of the things that came through to me is you mentioned crawling this daily, which is powerful because you can monitor things pretty much in real time. But the second part of that is it doesn't just report data, it can actually give you suggestions or what action steps to take next. Knowing that typical SEO agencies have a 30-day reporting cycle, a lot can change in 30 days. How should agencies think about reporting and making suggestions to the client? And should they be doing that more than 30 days in between?
Yeah. The best agencies and consultants, they communicate with the customers at least 2-3 times per week, and they share some learnings. What I usually do, or like with a couple of my customers, I say that we updated the content on this page, or we updated this page, and looks on these screenshots is how it performs. Agencies should consider everything they do as a small experiment, because it usually do. You don't know exactly how that Google will react to this. This is a constant learn. And when you show this feedback from the Google and the users to everything you did on the website, you also even help your customer to learn how to work with this. So this is the idea.
Yeah, and information is democratized now. I think there's this feeling, I could be wrong, but there's this feeling that, well, if I share too much, then again, why wouldn't the client just do it themselves? And before we jumped on camera, you were starting to mention the difference between hiring an agency or a consultant and having marketing in-house. What's your perspective on that whole scenario, knowing that information is democratized, tools are easy to access? What should brands be doing? How should they be thinking about agency partnerships?
Great question. And I love the quote here that the road from the 99% to 100% is longer than from 0 to 99. And it in everything. Yes. So you share a lot of information with the customers, but your customers don't know how much they don't know yet. Good consultants and agencies, they build their own frameworks, constantly learn what they read a ton of information, also what's changed in the industry, etc. Then the big value also that they know a lot of things and they can execute stuff. Yeah. So you can have some problems on the technical side. You may have problem on the marketing side, or like developers made some things and create some issues, and you don't see that. Yeah, won't say that. So I mean that agencies brands can try to do that themselves. Yeah, but after some time they will find that the best executors in this space, they learn constantly and they spend a lot of time on this. Yeah, and they constantly do mistakes. So to have this expertise in your company, in your brand, it's like having an in-house role. Yeah, you have to have somebody who will constantly relearn, yeah, and experiment with this stuff.
And the best way
And
to
another important thing, that the most interesting insights you get when you work with multiple brands and you starting to see some patterns you didn't see when you work with this only one brand. And that's the reason why people who work in one company, they often want to do consulting or advisorship, etc., because they feel that they want to learn more, to grow as a professional. And that's why often part-time consultant may be more valuable for the company than in-house role often, because it just has more expertise from different brands.
Hey, we hope you're enjoying the coffee and the conversation so far. This show is powered by Digital Web Solutions. And if you've ever wondered how the biggest brands actually build authority, this is it. DWS has a massive network of over 250,000 publishers, real sites that help you rank on Google, and more importantly, stay visible in AI search. It's the heavy lifting most teams just can't do on their own. As a thank you for listening, they're offering an exclusive free strategy call just for our eCoffee listeners. It's a great way to map out your authority plan for 2026. Just click the link below to book yours and see how they can help scale your brand. All right, now let's get back to the show. And more perspectives, right? You can see the trend holistically rather than just siloed in one brand. And I love what you're saying about testing, because you are the type of person who will actually walk the talk. I mean, you post about it on LinkedIn, you post it on the subreddit, you take screenshots, like real screenshots of Sitechecker.pro. Tell me about the actual testing section in the website. How do you even think of tests to run? Like, what's the process of how you think about running tests?
We just developed this feature, but before, like there are some elements on the page and the website that have like more leverage on impact in the Google. Yeah. So if we get the page, the title has more power than some part of the text. Yes. So sometimes, like the simple example, you can see the popular brand and they have some page and they just don't describe this page as people search for this product. And you just change the title and you can get the rise in the rankings. It looks like a small update, yeah, but you have to have some experiments to notice this problem. And this is a small experiment. Sometimes there are bigger experiments when there is a website and there are a lot of low effort in pages that indexed by Google, but they don't have value for people and for SEO. But we know, sellers know that Google has the overview of entire website quality. And if you have a lot of pages that has low quality, it decreases the entire website quality. Yeah. So it means that directing, like redirecting some pages, low effort pages, you can improve the entire website quality into the eyes of Google, and it will help to improve rankings for your main valuable pages. The idea that when you do these changes, you have just to log them. I made the poll on LinkedIn, and I see that 60% of sales, they usually just log this via Search Console custom notes or Google Sheets. Yeah. But even if you will do this way, it's already better than just don't log in this. Yeah. Because when you work with the website and you constantly reevaluate what was your hypothesis and what the actual result, you understand Google better. And there are a lot of patterns how Google work. There are a lot of stuff they talk on conferences. But when you work with the black box and you have the hypothesis and the result, you learn faster this idea.
You mentioned like hypothesis. How do you even think of hypotheses to test? Like maybe giving me an idea from your brain, like how many hypotheses are you coming up with on a daily basis or a weekly basis?
It depends on the website. Bigger website, and especially there is a lot of data that can be used at the part of some programmatic sell actions. There are maybe a lot of experiments. Yeah, for example, if had some unique data, and one of my customers, they have the influencer database, and we know that people from in different countries look for different influencers in different industries. So there is a possible programmatic SEO strategy. Yeah. But again, you have different ideas how it should work. Yeah, you run it on the app side because you have the data inside the app and you can just index these pages. Or you would like to create a layer on the marketing website, and there should be an API from your app, and on the marketing website you will do this. So the number one step of an experiment is just asking myself whether we can learn something during just one page on the one small page segment to understand how it works. Reviewing our competitors helps because strategies, they look great at the start because you see the good chart, yeah, but then they fail in one day. Google can kill this, and it's something what many agencies and consultants, they don't think. Your goal, not just show result. Your goal to build some fundamentals that's hard to kill for Google, that will last for years. And that's why sometimes sometimes customer ask for more aggressive actions, but you have to explain the risks. Sometimes it's better just don't do this stuff.
Building fundamentals that Google can't kill. I love that. That's a great line. That should be the hook of your next LinkedIn post.
Yeah, I like it.
So you started to get into influencers and user-generated content. You have an active subreddit that's been up for like 7 years or so. And you even mentioned like you can get more traffic from posting an article on Reddit or on LinkedIn rather than your own website. What are you seeing, and are you running tests in Reddit to show business value to Sitechecker? Tell me about it.
Yeah, important to know that we have the like old subreddit 7 years, but we created it 7 years ago, but we didn't run it. Yeah, we started running it only 4 months ago because we found that the rules change, and Google and AI chat, they reward Reddit threads, and that's why we decided to invest in that. The idea that you won't get more traffic from Reddit thread, you just get more brand visibility. And that's the idea that, yeah, people won't visit your website. But if you publish the same content on your website, you often has chances to rank it top 10 at all. Or you have invest a lot of efforts to do that. So the value is that I consider the subreddit as the place where it's again digital asset that we grow, and step by step, where when it will be even more popular, we will be able to publish content by more competitive keywords, and you'll be able to get users from search these keywords. Yeah, this one stuff. The another is that it's actually as the organic social channel where we want our users, our actual paying customers follow. And we have even a link to our subreddit in our email, in our footer. And we say that we publish product update there. We ask for like questions for some things. Yeah. We try to run a user polls, and we want to build it as a community. I know that some brands try to build community on like Facebook, school, or school and other stuff. But I see that Reddit is the best place because it gives you both like the community features that are great to manage, and also the SEO visibility. Yeah. So we have only like 350 members in Sitechecker Subreddit right now. And in 4 months, we already like rank some important valuable keywords for us. So after some time, we will be able to rank something that it's hard to rank on, like on our own website. Yeah. So this idea, it's a long-term strategy. It has long-term effects, and this is good. It creates some filter. You can just start a subreddit and get like the best possible result in 1 month. Yeah. It's like your own domain name. It has domain authority in the Google. Yeah. And the same thing here. But if you can create great content, if you can engage people on Reddit, you get results faster than other. Yeah. And
Please.
yeah, you asked about them showing the revenue impact on the revenue. Yeah. So we measured of the user poll when people create accounts inside Sitechecker where they found the brand first. Yeah, and Reddit is one of the sources of that. And we see that it grows step by step. And another thing that I speak with different SaaS founders, and sometimes I see that like I hear that for small startups, sometimes Reddit generate like 20-30% of their pipeline. They just go all in on it. They were small. They just started. They believed on that, and now they get the result. So I know it works because I did it. I not just do it for ourselves, but I also speak with others who do it.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, as a startup or a resource constrained business who's trying to rank for competitive keywords, and your competitors have 10, 15, 20 years of domain authority, like you're just not going to win. You don't have the resources to do it. But with a smaller, highly niche, contextual, user generated community like Reddit, it's so much easier to show up, right, and drive those business results. Like even to the point where you said, like, I can post content that I would normally post as a blog, and I can post it on Reddit, get more engagement, which signals authority to Google, right? I can get feedback from the community. So let me ask you this, Ivan. If I'm an agency, right, and to one of the things that was in your report is agencies are struggling to differentiate themselves in a competitive market. Although over 50% of the agencies raised their retainer, only like 2% decreased their retainer. Is a community a viable way to create a moat around your agency in a competitive environment, or is there a better way to do that?
Yeah, it's an interesting question because most of communities I see they are built around SaaS businesses or the agencies businesses. I think that this usually because SaaS they just usually has more customers, yeah, and they can like invite more people. Most of the agencies have like 10, 20, okay, maybe 100 customers, and you just can't build that public community on this. You can build some private community, but it's not what you look for. And for big SaaS companies, it creates some value. Yeah. You when you already have a lot of fans and customers who ask questions, who look for like different use cases. Yes. So it creates value for retaining customers. So I think so.
Yeah. It's a good point. I mean, you have like Salesforce has their Trailblazer community. Zoom has a super helpful community. What was the other one I just joined? Has a developer community. People are sharing that stuff. Okay, that makes sense. If I have a small client base, I'm not going to, try and push a community, but there is value in posting helpful content, useful content about how you're executing, how you're thinking about marketing if you're an agency founder in other subreddits. But you have to be careful because the moderators are super strict and they can smell promotional or commercial use cases like immediately, right? So,
Yeah,
if I'm a founder and I'm like, okay, this Reddit thing, Ivan says it's a good idea and he's actually getting traffic from Reddit, it seems like something I can do. What's the best approach to add value to communities while getting brand mentions and protecting your agency so you don't get banned?
yeah. Usually start with brand match when it's possible, because some subreddits are not as much restrictive, and in some subreddits, if in the post that somebody really asks for some solution and you suggest this is okay. Yeah, but it depends on the niche a lot. Usually Reddit has own policy. Yeah, they created like 10 or even more maybe years ago, where they say, try to keep the rule 1 of 10. We understand that people will promote the products and services here. But if you keep this rule, meaning like 10 organic posts and maybe 1 promotional, you are in a safe zone. Yeah, so you can work. It's like an essential filter that creates, because it makes every brand mention expensive. If you have to leave at least 10 comments on like other threads without brand mentions and take part in community, it's really like it's expensive. Yeah, if you are like a professional, yeah, you invest hours helping people. Yeah, so while you keep this rule, you're okay. Yeah, and that's why the reason also why you brands usually create their own subreddits, because yeah, there are subreddits that like look like unbiased. But again, anyway, most of them, they may be run by some brands and it's not just visible, or they may have contracts with brands that like where they say, okay, you can post what you want, but we won't give this option to other your competitors. Yes, so
Mm.
there are a lot of stuff that happens in direct messages and outside Reddit that we don't see. And your own subreddit, it's expensive thing to build. It's takes like a lot of months to build. But at the end, you have like the biggest power possible already.
Yeah, it's expensive in time and effort, right? You can create a free account on Reddit. But yeah, I mean, just like SEO, it takes a long time to build the trust and authority, making sure you're putting the value out there first. I'm curious, so in this new age of SEO, how we measure value, how we measure, how we have KPIs, it seems like, I mean, I know for a fact that things are changing. People are abandoning old KPIs to adopt new ones that are more relevant. So seeing as you're behind Sitechecker, like what sort of KPIs are you looking at that you're seeing are the most relevant, they're most tied to business success or ROI? And how should agencies be reporting KPIs to their clients?
Yeah, so there are 3 levels here. Like the first one, you need like revenue and book devils, leads. The first line is leads, and this is something that was right like 10 years ago, and this right now. But now it's just more difficult to measure, because a lot of conversations that happen in AI chats, they then end with the brand results in Google, and you'll see it like revenue from Google. But in fact, it just the AI chat was the first who recommended you. Like the branded traffic in Google is the most hard to explain, because it may be AI chat. So the only way to understand how to extract the value from brand traffic is asking people where they find you. Yes. So yeah, they will make mistakes. They can think that they find you in one channel, but in fact it was in another channel. But with this, you at least can get some. You can compare the results from Google Analytics and with your polls, and you see whether the trend is the same. And yeah, so we have the user polls, we have the GA4, because some conversions anyway they will happen exactly on the same page where people visit it.
Mhm.
And we have the session source medium, and we often see whether it's AI chat or like another channel. So it works. This one method, and another one method, like the most non-accurate, I guess. Yeah, it's like measuring whether your brand is visible in AI chats, but by prompt, keywords or prompts. So we try to do this method, and yeah, it also another question, attribution, about how your performance in one channel impact the another channel. So what I see that brands who run social media ads, yeah, they usually get better results like on ACO too, because when you have a popular brand and people know your colors, your favicon, you just can get better CTR in your SEO because they just know you when they look for something.
Mhm.
So yeah, and I see more and more that it's really hard to start doing ACO for the new website without investing into like some brand performance. We want people look for your brand. So without this, it's hard to get something.
Yeah, so like brand recognition, or doing some sort of like a one pager, like an exercise. I had a podcast yesterday where the guest said just putting an LLM.txt file on your website is useful, not because it makes it easier for the LLMs to crawl, but the clarity that you need to go through as a business owner to put your ICP, who it's for, what you do very clearly on one page, that actually drives more value for the business, getting that clarity. So how do you think about brand and creating that sort of clarity for a brand?
Yeah, this is also like a good question because I just thought about this yesterday, that when people spend less time in AI chats and they spend time in SERPs and on the websites, they didn't expect they can get the right answer to very specific question. They enter some keyword and they spend their own time researching different solutions, and it means they spend more time on different websites, and it means that you had more chances to sell them with your better messaging, better design, your app, etc. But right now, when we don't have this lever, these people spend more time on LLMs. What really people say about your brand matter more than what you really can do, and it's often different things. Yeah, you can be, if you create a great product, but you have bad messaging, wrong ICP, or you just don't invest enough money into that. Also, links, digital PR, social media, it will take years yet to build the right presence you want. I feel that sometimes it may be even better to start marketing even before producing a product if you want to have AI visibility. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is a big difference.
As we round out the conversation, as we kind of wrap up here, tell me a little bit more about that offsite authority for this new post AI era. I mean, backlinks are making a resurgence. Highly contextual sites are more important than high DR sites a lot of the times. Yeah, what else should we be looking for as marketers or as brands to win in the visibility for AI?
Yeah, one thought I also had about that in the old era when we wanted to build backlinks just to get people to our landing page. And we know that we just need a backlink to rank our landing page. And when we will have visitors, we can experiment with our messaging, what we will show in this page. We like had more power. Yeah. Uh, right now, when we know that we will build some backlink, we understand that the text around this backlink, what the specific product can do and why it's different and why it's valuable, is much more powerful than it was like 3-5 years ago. And it means that just don't enough to do the old link building. It should start with the like the link building strategy should start from the like product market strategy. What we want, what message we want to distribute, and we have carefully to review link insertions we get from other brands. Yeah, if we outreach other brands to play them. So I guess this is the big difference. Before we just need the link with the exact match anchor and we were happy. Yeah. Right now we want the right message on the third party website, because after we get the backlink, it's hard to change this message. Yeah, because communication takes a lot of efforts. So yeah, we have to be careful with this.
Yeah, I love that. The strong link building starts with product marketing strategy, and the right message is more important than the keyword. Man, I mean, that's a great mindset shift. I mean, we've seen like keyword stuffing doesn't work anymore, but this is just like the next version of that, where it has to, the keyword can't even be stuffed, in the sentence. Now the paragraph makes sense, has to make sense, the whole article has to make sense, obviously. So I love that. So we mentioned your resources. You have the Reddit or the subreddit for Sitechecker. Obviously, go and check out that, the report that I was mentioning on the sitechecker.pro website. Where else can we engage with you? How would you like the audience to reach out and engage?
Yeah, you can write me on LinkedIn or Twitter. I am active there. I also have a newsletter on Substack, so you can write me also on Reddit. So each social media I am active there, and I answer to direct messages there.
Yeah, awesome. And thank you so much for being here. You're a great guest, and I appreciate that you have data to back up everything that you say. The leaders that I'm seeing in this new world, they're sharing what they're learning, even if their hypothesis was wrong. And that's something I really appreciate about you is you're like, hey, I thought this was going to work, but I was wrong. And here's why. And you show the ups and downs. It's really cool to see that sort of transparency. And I think it builds a lot of trust and authority in the marketplace. So keep doing what you're doing, man. We appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. It was a pleasure to talk with you.
For sure.